What's going on, everybody? GemMint here with another new comic book day review, and this is probably my most anticipated series. Like, every time an issue comes out, I'm super excited to read it. Ultimate Spider-Man, issue 3, Jonathan Hickman, Marco Checchetto. We got Bullseye and Green Goblin on the cover here. So let's jump into this, and if you guys are digging these single issue reviews, man, hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I drop a video. So we're going month to month here. This all started in January, issue 3. Here we are, we're in March. And I love the family dynamic of the Parkers, man. You've got Mary Jane with Richard Parker, their son. They're kind of on the same side. And then you have little May with Peter, and they're on the daddy-daughter side. And she's the one that is aware of his secret as Spider-Man. So I love that little family dynamic there. Art style is great. It just feels so wholesome. It definitely feels like a new lane for Peter Parker. So into the synopsis, we already know what's going on here. The maker, he's responsible for all of this. 20 years ago, he used time travel technology in this universe, which is not the 616 and not the original Ultimate Universe. And he prevented the heroes from becoming heroes. Although Tony Stark was able to tap Peter Parker, give him the nanotechnology suit and the spider that originally bit him to give him Spider-Man powers. So, speaking of that costume, little May Parker is scared of the black suit, symbiote-inspired look, so she's asking him to design a new costume. So with the nanotechnology, they're able to kind of do this in real time. So the first version is like a black suit, which is what he had, but with like webbing. She feels it's too scary. Then he puts on a sleeveless hood, like, hey, this is cool, right? No, Dad, it's definitely not cool. But nice shout out to the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider. Another costume gives it more of a Iron Spider look. She likes the red, maybe add some more blue. Then he goes all blue, and it has like a superior Spider-Man vibe, but with blue instead of red. And then when she says, you know, add a little bit more red into it, he ends up with the classic red and blue costume, which is what he originally had. Destiny could not stop Spider-Man from getting his powers or having this classic costume. So he's swinging around with his daughter. She's having fun. She's got these big bug-eyed goggles on. And then the scene switches to one of my favorite aspects of this story. Ben Parker and J. Jonah Jameson, they left the Bugle. It's been compromised by Wilson Fisk. He's the new owner. So they've branched off. They bought this dump of a office space, and they still don't have a name for their company. But I got to tell you, I love the relationship between Ben Parker and J. Jonah Jameson. Ben Parker makes him a better person. And this like buddy kind of relationship, I don't know, man. It's just so wholesome. And he's such a great checks and balances. Peter still works at the Daily Bugle. You know, he's got a family, can't just quit his job and work for nothing. So he comes in, gives them a little office decor. He sees how much of a dump the place is as well. And notices their Charlie Day board on the wall looking for Pepe Sylvia. And they do share information, even though there's kind of a conflict of interest there. But it's Peter, man. He's going to do the right thing. They're locating all of the Green Goblin hits. They are all Wilson Fisk facilities. So even while I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what? So maybe Green Goblin is not really a bad guy. You know, a little bit of foreshadowing here. So they know that this vigilante is going after all the Wilson Fisk spots. Spider-Man decides to do his first ever stakeout. And, you know, he's watched all the movies before. You usually eat. He's got his baker's dozen of donuts over there. He's laying in his web. I really like this scene too of him laying in the web. It reminded me of like McFarlane stuff back in the day, or Jusco stuff, where they would play with that kind of laying in a hammock of webs. Spidey realizes that stakeouts are boring as hell. He's waiting there all day and night in the rain. Nothing seems to be happening. And then all of a sudden, boom, Goblin Bomb explodes. We have our armored Green Goblin on the glider fighting with Bullseye. So this is a new version of Bullseye, super sleek. I dig the outfit. I love him throwing the cards. It's giving me Gambit vibes. And I got the Gambit shirt on today too. And they have a cool battle. Bullseye hits the Green Goblin bomb in Goblin's hand, exploding it in his hand. You know, he's got that perfect aim. Taking the fight to this kind of construction scene and hitting him with one of those throwing the card at you, oh, you miss. No, I didn't. I actually was aiming for the thing behind you kind of trope. And then comes Spider-Man in to save the day, webbing up Bullseye. And before you know it, it's Spider-Man and Green Goblin versus Bullseye. Obviously, Bullseye is the bad guy, so Green Goblin isn't the bad guy. This video is brought to you by Ninja Funk Bad Music #1. Following the battle at Ninja Funk Dojo and the capture of BB, Bad Music retreats to their headquarters at the Nexus. With the love of Laser Wolf's life as irresistible bait, there's no doubt in Queen Bad's mind that her nemesis will come knocking and she's ready for him. Will Laser Wolf, JPG McFly, and Wolfgang see the trap for what it is or run headlong into disaster? Find out in Ninja Funk Bad Music #1 in stores April 17th. Spider-Man helps to take out Bullseye, epic punch. And you got to remember, this is really like Spider-Man year one. Even though he's an older Peter Parker and he's a family man, he just became Spider-Man. This is literally his first battle in the red and blue. So anyway, they capture Bullseye, and then we have the conversation between Green Goblin and Spider-Man. Goblin is able to access his technology right away, override Peter's nano suit, and remove his mask. Peter's scrambling like, no, wait a minute. And Goblin, does the right thing. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. Takes off his mask. Surprise, surprise. It's Harry Osborn. I think we called this from the beginning. It seemed like he was installed in that first issue to set the tone for what would come here. And he's a vigilante using this technology to take down Wilson Fisk. So again, the Green Goblin that we know is a good guy. And it reminds me of what's going on in the regular Spider-Man universe with Norman Osborn as the Gold Goblin. The Sin Eater removed all of his sins, hence becoming a good guy, but still a goblin nonetheless. So after this big reveal, now I don't think that Peter and Harry have as close of a relationship in this universe as they did in the 616. It doesn't seem like, oh my God, Harry, it's been you the whole time. It kind of just feels like, oh, Harry Osborn is this vigilante. Oh, Peter Parker is this vigilante. You want to go get a drink and talk about it? Sure. And that's where this one ends. So you know what's funny? I know that there was complaints about issue 1 being like too long and just bigger than it needed to be. I read this issue and I wanted more. I felt like this one ended too short. It could have used more, but maybe that's a pacing thing. We'll see what happens in issue 4, which comes out in April. Overall, still my favorite ongoing. I'm a little bit biased though. I'm a Spider fan at heart, and I love to see a good Spider-Man book out there with new dynamics, different relationships, whether it's Peter at home with Mary Jane and his family, whether it's Ben Parker being alive, changing the person who J. Jonah Jameson is. And I can't wait to see what their news organization becomes and going against the Daily Bugle, taking down Wilson Fisk. Learning more about Harry Osborn and why he became the Goblin. We know he was super pissed off about that D-Day, that big massacre that took place in issue 1 that took the life of Aunt May. So, yeah, issue 3, great series. I understand that Marco Checchetto is not going to be on the run. That's what somebody commented, but it looks like he's on issue 4. So we'll continue to get Marco Checchetto artwork on issue 4. I don't see any new solicits for the other Ultimate stuff. They're just promoting Ultimate X-Men 1. Make sure to check out my review for that. It's what I expected it to be, but I liked it because it just felt refreshing and new. It shouldn't be called Ultimate X-Men 1. It should be called Ultimate Armor, but I guess that wouldn't sell well. Ultimate Black Panther 2 came out this month, waiting on issue 3. Nobody watched my review of issue 2, so I guess nobody really cared, but I'm still going to read it. Maybe I'll do a review if I feel compelled to do so. Shoot me your thoughts on Ultimate Spider-Man issue 3. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, stay minty fresh. Peace.